Hey everybody, welcome back to my blog for today. Today I'm going to be revisiting artificial intelligence. Um, so I want to say, like I said in my other videos, I want to preface it by saying I'm not an expert on this stuff. I just find it intriguing and like talking about it. So today I want to talk a little bit about AI and weapons defense systems. Um, there is a downside to AI and weapons of mass destruction, considering if it fell into the wrong hands. Um, you know, if somebody who has ill intent gets a hold of, sorry, my chair's screwed up, gets a hold of AI, they could use it for harm instead of good. Um, One scientist is trying to make sure that it gets talked about by the Board of Ethics. It's a major concern and needs to be talked about. Some people don't even want to deal with it. Some people are concerned over the scientist's proposal and rather it be turned over to a board of experts to talk about. They also go on to mention that 24,000 scientists have signed a pledge to not go on with that type of research. In the end, Metzinger, who is a scientist, prevails with his autonomous weapons, and it will be included in the panel's ethics guidelines. So it will be talked about in that panel. Um, People in other parts of the world are worried about creating weapons of mass destruction using artificial intelligence, which is totally possible. You can you can do that easily because drones and stuff are so readily available. Anyone with the know-how can set something up like that. But the video goes on to talk about a Swedish-American philosopher and AI expert Max Tegmark. Tegmark mentions that physics has contributed greatly to mankind, but it also created a nuclear bomb. So there you can see how, you know, AI is doing good, but there's also a bad side to it. You know, like physics gave us, God knows how many good things in life and explain things in life, and there's good things that come of it, but there's also the nuclear bomb that was derived from physics. So now we have to deal with AI weaponry. He thinks that certain parts of this new kind of weaponry should be banned. The type of weapons that are perfect for terrorists to use to murder someone anonymously, or even dictators to use them to murder their citizens. So it's pretty intense. Um, you know, like I said, if it falls into the wrong hands, bad stuff can happen. So um, these weapons are going to be really cheap. They can start to be mass produced and become as unstoppable as making guns. Um, just because the technology, things get cheaper all the time because it just gets outdated so quickly. Drones, for example, could be mass produced, and they already are, and they could be easily modified to cause harm instead of good. Um, then they're readily available to the public, which is true. You can go to the store and buy a drone anytime. Like you go to Best Buy and pick up a drone or something like that. Um, you can get a drone so many places that there's no stopping people from getting them. You can also send out a drone to find its target based on facial recognition. Now that's scary to me. Um, that way it will ensure it has the correct target. It can be used to murder just about anyone if it's programmed properly. What else I got here? If this happens, it will have a tremendously negative impact on society. People or groups of people can be taken out so easily. Tegmark says that there are many ways that science can help people, and many ways science can harm people. Again, the good and the bad, the pros and the cons with this stuff. Like with anything else, there's always good and bad. What they're trying to do is make AI something that has made the world better, not worse. So they're trying to use AI for good things, which obviously I think is a good idea. There's so many things that you could use artificial intelligence for to help people and help society. So, um, Professor Jürgen Huber is a co-director for an Institute of Artificial Intelligence Research. He focuses on what are called neural networks, which is basically how the brain functions. These networks are capable of learning and adapting to an environment the way that children learn. Uh, Jurgen points out that the brain has 1 million times more neural connections than the best AI right now. That's pretty crazy. Especially with what AI can do now, I think is impressive. And there's that many more neural networks inside the human brain, or neural connections. But computers are becoming much faster and could become much smarter than humans in 20 to 30 years. That seems like a long time to me. I'm hoping that it will happen sooner just because of all the things AI could do for humanity, the good stuff. Undoubtedly, there are some of the bad that comes along with the good, and hopefully they can keep that under control so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, which could be difficult. This is quite a lengthy video here that I took notes from, so I don't know if I'm going to get to them all. But anyways, when the machines are 20 to 30 years ahead, Jurgen says the only way to tell the robots apart from humans is flesh and blood. I feel like they're closer to having that be the case just from the things I've seen, but that's just me. So, I mean, I've seen, a decent amount of stuff on AI and what it can do already, and I just feel like it may be sooner than later that they get to be indistinguishable from humans. It could be like 10, 15 years instead of 20 or 30 with the way that technology advances and everything. So the topic of human emotion and love and care and empathy comes up. Robots are capable of developing their own versions of all those things. Let me make this bigger. So where the heck was I going? Oh yeah, an example is to give robots tasks to complete by working together. They will learn how to do that. That to me is amazing. Robots are able to learn that way is pretty crazy. I think it's things like that that will cause them to eventually be smarter than humans. That basically means everything they do is a learning process for them, which means they're constantly learning new things. It is because of tasks like working together that the development of emotion and love and affection will happen. The question comes up being, can AI really learn to empathize with humans? That's a tricky question. I don't know how I feel about that or what I would say about that, but it's possible that robots can do that. They'd have their own, I guess, version of empathy. But I don't think at any point that they could truly empathize with humans the way humans empathize with other humans. I just for some reason don't think that's something that a robot would be able to do. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but that's just my personal opinion. I got a minute left. So the video goes on to Brussels to talk about AI, and they say some AI systems function the way humans would. Metzinger, the scientist, has called guidelines for governing the interaction between people and machines. He calls a ban on AI systems that don't identify them as such when dealing with humans. They would be given a human the impression that they are human and not machine. Something like this could be very deceiving in the coming years as robots become more human-like and further advanced. So I have more notes here, but for the sake of time, I'm going to break this up and save the rest of this for another video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Like I said, I'm going to do this probably consistently on Sundays because there's so much more to talk about. As far as you can talk about artificial intelligence forever, and it's one of my favorite things to talk about. Then there's some very interesting things in here. I would talk about it more, but I'm running out of time. I'm trying to keep it around 10 minutes, this vlog. But anyways, if you guys are into artificial intelligence, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. Give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, then hit subscribe. I'd be very grateful if you did. Excuse me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna wrap things up here. So I will catch you guys in the next one.